Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share a video with 7 easy low-carb, keto diet-friendly breakfast ideas. Over the past week I filmed breakfast every single day. I talked you through all the breakfast, give you the recipes, how to make everything. It's all shared in the video today. And as always, I've also written a full blog post which I'll leave down below, which you can click through to pin bookmark and save for whenever you want low-carb breakfast inspiration. And be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and comment to let me know your favorite go-to low-carb breakfast and what video you'd like me to share next for you. I look forward to reading your comments. So let's get straight into it with breakfast number 1. I'm starting my week with a breakfast fry up. I've sliced up a whole lot of mushrooms. I've got some leftover low-carb sausages over there, and I'm going to fry up some eggs too and just make a breakfast fry up, and I'll show you my finished plate next. And this is my finished breakfast plate. We've got some fried eggs over there, mushrooms and the sausages, and I just cook everything in coconut oil these days and I just love it. I'm going to add a bit of salt on top, but that is my breakfast to start out a week full of easy keto low carb breakfast ideas. For breakfast this morning I feel like something super quick, don't feel like eggs, so I'm really just going to fry up some lamb chops, mushroom, spinach, and just put a quick breakfast plate together. I've sliced the mushrooms. I'm just cooking them in coconut oil, added salt, a bit of oregano too, and I'm just going to let these cook down until there's space in the frying pan for the lamb chops, and then I'll get those cooking too. It's only been a few minutes. The mushrooms have already reduced down heaps. I'm going to move them aside and pop the lamb in and just cook it all together. And I kind of moved all the mushrooms off to the side, and I've popped the lamb chops in the middle, and I'm just going to cook everything till it's brown, cooked through and done beautifully to my liking. Okay, everything's browning nicely. I'm just going to give it another minute or two, and then I'll remove all of this and I'll just cook up some spinach in the frying pan so that it gets all the lovely flavors. Meat and mushrooms on the plate. I'm just going to fry up the spinach. I've washed the spinach, I've just popped it straight in the frying pan so it just briefly cooks in all the lovely meat and mushroom juices and liquids, and then we'll just put it all together. And there you go, my breakfast is ready. I've got my lovely little lamb chop there, a nice portion of those mushrooms. I cooked the spinach in all the lovely flavour from the meat and mushrooms, and I also popped last minute a little bit of sauerkraut on the side just for a bit more healthy veg and the good fermented goodness that comes from sauerkraut. And keep watching for more easy low carb breakfast ideas. And for my next breakfast I'm making a chia pudding. I am going to prepare this the night before, and then tomorrow for breakfast I will have a chia pudding ready to go. So I'm going to in the end top it with my blueberries over here. We've got chia seeds to make a lovely chia pudding. I'm using almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, and kefir. You could use almond milk, some yogurt, you could use cream, you could use whatever low carb liquid you have in your fridge that you'd like to use in smoothies and hot chocolate and all kinds of things. And I'm going to use a bit of stevia to sweeten it up too. So I'm using a little ramekin dish as my breakfast bowl. I'm going to pop 2 tablespoons of chia seeds in, and then 1/4 cup each of kefir and the almond milk. Almond milk in. I'm just going to add in about 1/2 teaspoon of stevia just to sweeten it all up, and we'll just mix it through together. Okay, now it's all mixed through. I'm just going to pop it into the fridge overnight, and this will thicken and set, and I'll show you in the morning when I have my breakfast. So it's now the next morning, and my chia pudding has thickened and hardened up. You can see if I pop a spoon into it, it's a lovely and thick breakfast pudding, and you can enjoy it like that, or I'm going to top it with some blueberries. Just a little handful of blueberries, and then every mouthful we get a lovely blueberry, and then just make such a beautiful breakfast. For breakfast today I'm making a cheese omelette. I'm whisking together, I'm doing 3 eggs. I tend to, when I have fried eggs, have 2, and when I make an omelette or scramble I do 3. So it goes a bit further.
Okay, so I've whisked together eggs. I'm just going to add a splash of cream to make them nice and creamy. That's kind of perfect. And I've got coconut oil melting in the frying pan. I'm going to get it cooking. Now when you make an omelette, it depends obviously what your fillings are going to be. I'm just making a cheese omelette, so I'm going to grate some cheese and have it ready to go for when my omelette's ready for it. If you're going to cook mushrooms or onion or broccoli or any other vegetable to make a big veggie omelette, cook all the veggies first, cook them, take them out of the frying pan, and then add in your omelette. But I'll leave some omelette instructions in the blog post down below. So I'm just going to start cooking my egg to make the omelette. While my frying pan is still heating up, I'm just grated some cheese. I'm grating some of my favourite vintage cheese, cheddar over there. And I'm also going to add a few teaspoons of my Parmigiano Reggiano, just so it's got a bit of a mix of cheese. But you could really use any cheese that you like. I've also in the past added in feta, goat's cheese, really just any cheese you like. Coconut oil's melted, pan's nice and hot. So I'll pour in my omelette mixture. I like to give it a little swivel around, and then as it starts to set, move the inside out, outside in. Don't want to scramble it, but I just tend to distribute it all around so that it cooks nice and evenly. And then in a minute we can add in our filling. Okay, I'm going to add my cheese to half of it. Just as much. I like a super cheesy cheese omelette. And the parmesan too. I'm just going to let that cook for a minute and then fold it over. There we go. I've kind of flipped it over. All the cheese is getting nice and melty. I'll give it another minute and then I kind of try and flip it again, and then I'll pop it onto a plate. There we go. It's always a careful, did it. Just like to get both sides nice and golden. And then I want to have spinach as my side, just for a bit of green to absorb all of the richness of the cheese omelette. So as soon as I take the omelette out, I'm going to pop in a few handfuls of washed spinach and give them a cook. So I'm happy with how that's cooked. Let's move it onto a plate. Oh, and now we'll just fry up some spinach. So I just briefly fried the spinach in the frying pan with some bit more coconut oil. You can add a bit of salt, anything else that you like. And now my breakfast is done. Look at it, the lovely cheese omelette and spinach on the side. It makes such a lovely balanced meal. Get some greens in, it balances the richness of that lovely cheese omelette. And really, cheese omelette's one of my favourite ways to have eggs. I could have cheese omelettes every single day, although I think I say that about most of my breakfasts. I really enjoyed this one today. But yeah, that is today's breakfast. Keep watching for more easy keto breakfast ideas. And for breakfast this morning, I am making a protein shake. I've got a low-carb protein powder, almond milk. I'm using some fresh cream and just mixing it together to make a lovely breakfast, which is high in protein, low in carbs, and great when there's just no time for breakfast. I'm going to start by adding a good heaped tablespoon of protein powder. You can use a scoop of protein powder, however much you normally have. And then pour in my almond milk, just really as much as you want. Almond milk, however much your instructions on the protein powder say, just pour in that amount. And then to bring up the fat content, we're going to pour on some cream, lovely and luxurious, and it just makes it into a low carb, high fat protein shake. And then we'll pop the lid on and give it a really good shake, and that is pretty much breakfast made. An easy breakfast that you can take out and about with you, that requires pretty much no prep, and you're good to go. And for breakfast this morning, I'm making a tuna breakfast scramble. I've got a can of tuna over here. I've got 3 eggs with a bit of cream. I'm just going to give them a whisk. Here we go. And because everything's going to move really quickly, I'm going to get organized before starting my eggs. I'm going to open my can of tuna, drain it, have it ready to go. I'm going to grate some cheese. I'm using the same cheese as I had in my omelette the other day. I've got a bit of this vintage cheese I'm going to grate, and I've got my Parmigiano Reggiano as well, so I've got that cheese. And I'm also adding in spinach like I did the other day with my cheese omelette. So yeah, similar ingredients but a totally different breakfast. So I'm going to get everything prepped and ready and then start scrambling my eggs, and you'll see it moves very quickly. So I've got coconut oil melted in the frying pan. I'll pour on my scrambled egg batter and just get scrambling. And once it starts to take, I'm going to add in all the other ingredients. It's starting to get a bit lumpy. I'm going to add on tuna. Really add on as much as you want. It just makes this a super high, low carb breakfast. Lovely and full of tuna. You don't have to use a whole tin. You can use as much as you want. Now add on over the cheese and some parmesan too. And we'll give it all a good scramble. Kind of ends up a bit like a tuna melt flavor. So good. Now it's kind of almost ready. I'm just going to wash a handful of spinach and add that too. There we go. And we'll just fold everything through and scramble it until it's done to our liking. As I said, it comes together so quickly. It's such a quick breakfast. You could also have this as a breakfast for dinner, full of protein, and you've got veg, and you could really just add any veg you like. Some tomato might be a bit nice. You can add other cheese, feta, really anything you like. So yeah, it's pretty much done. You can see the eggs are pretty much scrambled. The tuna is all heated up. Cheese is nice and melty, and yeah, that's pretty much done. I'll just move it onto a plate. So that is my beautiful plate full. Look at that. The tuna, the eggs, spinach, and all that cheese makes such a hearty, big, low-carb keto breakfast. And for my final breakfast of the week, I'm making hot chocolate. It might seem a bit unconventional, but loads of people start their day with just a coffee, and sometimes I just feel like a hot chocolate, and I find this to be low carb, high fat, and just so good, and it keeps me full until lunchtime. So I have got unsweetened almond milk. Just check and find a low carb almond milk. I'm going to use a row of this chocolate that I've got from Aldi, and a little bit of cream too, just to bring up the fat content. So I've got my saucepan out that I'm going to pop my milk into, and what I tend to do is I've got my mug that I'm going to make my hot chocolate or pour my hot chocolate out into. I like measuring out my milk into my mug. That way I know I've got enough, and that'll be perfect. Once I've added in the chocolate and a bit of cream, that will do beautifully. So what I'm going to do is just bring the milk up to a simmer, and then we'll mix in the chocolate. So I've got my saucepan over medium heat, and I'm just going to bring it up to a simmer. As soon as it's bubbling, we'll take it off the heat and whisk through the chocolate. It's only taken a few minutes. It's bubbling vigorously, so I'll take it off the heat. And what I've done is I've chopped up a row of chocolate, and we'll just mix it in, and it melts pretty quickly. Now I'm quite happy. This is 85% chocolate. It's perfectly sweet enough for me. If you'd like to add a bit of stevia or your sweetener of choice, you can do that too. You can see all that chocolate has melted from the heat of the milk. And now I'll pour it out into a mug. Just move that away. We'll pop a mug down, and I'll pour it out. Made a little more than I needed, but that's kind of perfect. There you go. Now I'm just going to top it with just a bit of cream. You could add some whipped cream if you want for some extra indulgence too, but I'm just going to pour a bit of that cream over to mix through, and so it's nice and creamy, and that is really filling. I find it a beautifully filling breakfast, and my final breakfast in this week of easy low carb keto diet breakfasts. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and comment to let me know what's your favorite easy low carb keto breakfast. And I'll leave a link down below to the blog post, which will have all the recipes and everything you need to make all these lovely breakfasts. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.